Yeah, for sure. Scott, let me just start following up from last week. It would have been nice to get a win in front of Chris Fagan and to see him there in a Jackjumpers single.
Yeah, Chris was nice enough. We called him a few days ago and said he's all in, and he's 2-0 with us. He showed up last year around the same time after winning the championship, and great to have him in the building. As I've said, much respect to him. And the fact that he's Tasmanian, this is icing on the cake of a guy that's this class and represents his sport wonderfully, and just a hell of a human being.
You talked at the start of the season about how this season, for every team's going to be determined on who wins the close games, and that's 3 in a row now where you've found a way to win tight games, and in the last minute or two you've found ways to get the job done. What are you doing well with when games are on the line right now?
Well, first of all, kudos to Brisbane. I don't know if we deserved to win or not. We made the right plays at the right time, but I thought they were the most dominant team throughout most of that game, and we had some poise when we needed it and made some shots, and obviously TJ gave us a spark that was hugely needed. And then this guy across from me, 23 and 15 in monster minutes was huge for us. But we just made enough plays. Magne made enough plays around the rim, and just figuring out how to win. And you're right, I've said before that, and I've told these guys multiple times that these games are going to come down to the last 2 or 3 minutes if you're able to hang in there on the road, and if your defense is solid enough to give you a chance. And we'll walk away out of here very humble that we got to win and just drop our heads and on to the next thing.
The one area where I do think you had, the advantage was the physicality of like you said, Josh and Will. I mean, their physical presence was incredible, and I thought Will probably did a great job on Tyrell. And for those two guys to finish with 36 points and 23 rebounds, between them, that's probably the difference in the game.
Yeah, obviously they're an imposing group, and the versatility that he has to play 5 when Magne needs a blow too has been quite helpful, especially now with Majuk Dang being out, and we need to obviously buy minutes at those spots. But those two guys together are you have to deal with them every night, and one thing about them is they're workers and they come to play every night. And tonight, Josh was, I thought, just elite in a lot of different areas.
What about the spark that he got out of TJ? They had all the momentum late in that third quarter. You needed probably somebody to do something a little bit special for you in those early parts of the fourth quarter, and that's exactly what he did.
Absolutely. We're lucky to have him. It's a timing situation with us, and he's been coached for the last 7 days via Zoom. And they just arrived yesterday and passed his physical and obviously the contract and stuff. And, he had no idea what he was doing out there as far as what we were running or anything other than get a ball and try to go score it. But that's what he does. And he's a hell of a player, and we're happy to have him for a few weeks until he heads to China. So this is kind of his preseason and a stopgap for us to help us score the ball because, like a lot of teams are going through illness and sickness and so on and so forth. But when you start losing points from injuries, it's hard to recuperate those, and that's what we're hoping he'll give us.
Are you pretty excited about what he can do in a backcourt alongside Tiger when you're able to play them together for periods over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I hope so. It's going to put a lot of pressure on people to guard, obviously multiple guys, and then obviously, Bryce was, I thought, very good, and especially in the second half there defensively, and got some key rebounds for us and was just in there battling, and he's obviously a hell of a player himself. So to have 3 guys that can create off the bounce and pick and roll situations is definitely something that we're going to exploit as much as we possibly can, and we just, like I said, get out of here and regroup and rest, and then we're back on the road again to Adelaide.
And just for you, Josh, obviously very familiar building for you. What was it like coming back here in a visitor's uniform?
It was like it's good to be back and see some familiar faces. So hopefully catch up with some guys now after the game who I played with and have great respect for and enjoyed playing with. But it's just another game, to be honest with you. We're trying to work on this team, and that's really all I'm keyed in on, is playing for the Jackjumpers.
You say it was just like another game, but did it feel any different walking in here playing against your own team?
I guess, like, you walk in the morning and it's a little bit different walking into the opposition locker room versus walking, when you've been playing for the home team the last couple of years. But at the same time, I've gotten into a rhythm with this group and love playing with this group, and I'm privileged and grateful to be part of this organisation. So that's really all I'm focused on and what I'm enjoying right now.
Did both you and Will really set yourselves to be physically tough tonight against Tyrell and Torrey especially, and how did you find the battle?
Yeah, well, Tyrell's obviously an exceptional basketball player. He's been dominating throughout since last year, and Mags did an unbelievable job on him tonight. Those charges he took, the one late particularly, that's a game-winning play, and that's unsung. But he's not afraid. He'll do grit and grind stuff. He does stuff doesn't show up on box scores. But Mags, that's very impressive, and the guts to take that charge up one at that point in the game, yeah, it's a special play.
What did you see out of TJ that I'm sure will have you looking forward to playing with him for the next few weeks?
Yeah, the guy, he's a bucket. He puts the ball in the hole. It's pretty simple, and that's going to be awesome for this group, and we're going to need that. We kind of just let him loose tonight, keep it pretty simple. That go out and score the ball, and we'll sort of work around you. But he's obviously going to draw a lot of attention, and he's going to help guys like Bryce and Tiger take some attention off them too. And we'll have a few ball creators making plays, and it'll continue to be good for the rest of the group. And I think he'll come in and have a great impact.
Scott, what have you been able to do so well to start this season? Because this was a tough run to start the season with this amount of road games early, but you've had injuries, you've had illnesses to be thrown in there as well, but you've gone on a winning streak now. What have you been able to do well?
I think it all comes back to our defense again. It's just foundationally something that I strongly believe in. Obviously, since I've been in this league, and that if your defense is solid, we say our defense travels. It's going to give you chances to win games that, like tonight, maybe you're not supposed to win. And it allowed us to be in the game and just make enough plays and to sit down and guard. And our guys have picked up our system fairly well. And we're still making bonehead mistakes here and there. And it's a new group, but in general. The last 3 games we've been able to defend and allow ourselves to have a chance to win on the road, and that's all you're asking for at the end of the day. And this is, I think, our 3rd opening night also, so there's a lot of things there for these guys to take away that they should be proud of, but we have a ton of work ahead of us.
Just get your thoughts on the Bullets and how tough were they to prepare for tonight, given they're missing 2 of their imports, they're missing Sam McDaniel and Mitch Jordan, they're probably 6 most important players. How difficult were they to prepare for, and what did you make of what they produced? Yeah,
like I said, I think over the course of the game they probably deserved to win the game, and their young players Murray and Dukas played fantastic for them, and Jalen's Jalen, and he can cause enough headaches when he's on his game, but not to take anything away from them, but we don't focus too much on opponents other than personnel things. We just stay with our basic kind of defense and what we believe in, and we just harp on that, and we start all over again on Monday going through this process again, and we don't do a tremendous amount of game planning other than a little tweak here or there, but ultimately it's just the consistency of rolling out that defense every night, and so that there's just no gray areas and that we know what we're doing constantly, and that's been our MO from the first day I've gotten here, and it will be until I leave.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Josh?
Yeah, Scott, obviously Tyrell Harrison's had an incredible start to the season, and I think Will Magnay and Josh Bannan both had an incredible impact on the court, and obviously getting into foul trouble and also limiting his impact. What did you sort of make of their performance and I guess the duo on Tyrell Harrison this night?
Yeah, listen, from where Ty was when I first got into the league to where he is now, I mean, the guy's just made dramatic leaps. And, when he gets the ball around the paint and his skills and his level to be pivoting and scoring around there, and to be quite honest with you, when I saw him in the summer league, I thought he was going to get a 2-way out of the NBA because he's kind of the prototypical big that likes to roll down the lane, and he's skilled enough, and, he's still young enough to have an opportunity there. And the last 2 or 3 years, he's just continued to be better and better and better. And the one thing with him too, he's got a great demeanor on the floor and just does his job. And he's a handful. And we need both our guys to, be physical with him and stand him up and try to keep him away from the rim as much as possible. And I thought our guys competed at a really high level there. But he's a hell of a player.
And obviously, you faced a little bit of adversity over the last couple of weeks with a couple of injuries.
Yep.
What do you sort of make of this particular win, where it wasn't an easy win, but it was a character win and something that you can sort of build on now going forward?
Yeah, I think when you're winning on the road, you're just building momentum and you're building confidence and you're taking away, positives as much as we possibly can. And I think the camaraderie that we've created over the last few weeks, having been on the road, has been really, really good, from the airports to the hotels to our dinners. And all that stuff is building momentum behind the scenes, and that's where the magic actually ends up happening. We get to play 2 hours together, but it's, what we're doing off the floor. And so the group's been sound, and it's this next man up. And, I thought Jacob Richards came in for the most part and took the right shots and played as hard as he could, and he got his first real big taste of playing. And so we're going to need guys like Nick Marshall and these guys to continue to step up while we have injuries. And you just got to survive. This month for us is a grind. I think we have 7 of our first 9 on the road, and we're trying to thrive in that period, and I'm quite proud of our group.
Last one for me, boys, as well. Josh, obviously, you've had a solid start to the season. Clearly, this is your best game in Jackjumpers colours. What do you sort of take out of this now, heading into next game and going forward in the NBL season?
For me, it's sort of just been embracing the culture of what sort of this club's about and what the coaches have harped on since I've gotten here, and that's just such it's a growth mindset, and it's very progress. It's just focused on improving and getting better, and the results can show one thing, and there can be games you lose where you put in a great effort and defensively you did the right things and you made improvements, and you can win games where you didn't necessarily deserve to win and play your best basketball. So for me, having a game where my productivity is a bit better is good, but there'll be plenty of things to learn from, and just continue to build on that. And I'm just focused on playing the best basketball I can when it comes crunch time down the end of the year and heading into playoffs, and keep building towards that.
Perfect, guys. Good luck for next week.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.